All right, guys, it's been an 82-game season. It's been a few days since the season was over. The playing games are done. The Jazz and Mavericks are going to play soon. Let's preview it. It's the Hoops Nerd show, not post-game show, the show. All right, guys, so this was one of the more fun matchups during the season. We had the Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert stuff going on where, if you don't remember, the Jazz and Mavericks went at it multiple times. The one went down to the wire where Rudy Gobert locked up Luka Doncic late. The next game, Luka Doncic goes at Rudy Gobert, got the last laugh, hits a three in his face. We all remember the flop and the anger and the throwing of basketballs and all the craziness. Well, now they get to play again, and the Utah Jazz and Dallas Mavericks, they match up in an interesting way. There's some matchups that I really like, but before we get into that, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Luka Doncic, the last game of the season, gets injured, and it doesn't look great. Let's just take a look here at this picture that was shared on Twitter. All right, if you see here, someone on Twitter shared this picture. This is the craziness of Twitter, by the way. But Luka Doncic is walking into the hospital, and if you see right there, he's got a walking boot on. Not a great sign. Now, that could just be precautionary. It could be any number of different things, but it doesn't look great. And Shams just recently reported that he is out for game one. But if we listen to Woj, he actually had more insight on it. It may be more like 1 to 2 games missed. Let's listen to that.
I'm told this is more than just a mild calf strain. And so, listen, he is going, knowing Luka Doncic, how competitive he is, he's going to want to try to play. But this is certainly an injury. Listen, you're going to have to be able to move around, and you could make it worse. So the Mavericks are very much preparing for the possibility of not only maybe not having him in game one, but maybe even game two on Monday.
All right, so there you go. It sounds like he may miss 2 games. At the very least, we know for sure he's going to miss game one. And like Woj says, this Dallas team has everything geared around what Luka Doncic does. And the last half of the season, he's been an MVP level player with the numbers he's putting up. Utah knows it firsthand with the 30-plus point near triple-doubles that he's put up against Utah. He's phenomenal. This last half of the season, he's been in peak form. He's been just everything you expect when you talk Luka Doncic. Now, the thing that sucks if you're a Mavericks fan is that he goes into this and probably misses the first 2 games. And that's even more painful when you consider that the Mavericks have home court advantage in this. So in a way, it's almost worse to have home court advantage because those first 2 games are at home and they likely won't have Doncic for them. So it is massive for the Mavericks to get at least 1 win in these first 2 games. If the Mavericks can win for the first game, game 1, then that's massive for them because then they can hope that Luka Doncic returns for game 2. Although, according to Woj, like we just heard, it does not seem super likely that he will play in that game. But if he does, that would be obviously better for the Mavericks. Now, this is going to be just an uphill battle for the Mavericks the entire series because if they don't have Doncic for the first 2 games in Dallas, that's rough. And then if he comes back, he might be hampered as they go to Utah. And then, of course, that's in Utah, so Utah gets the advantage there. Really tough series for the Mavericks. Now, they're 8-9, like Woj said, without Doncic. 9-8, 8-9, I can't remember what he said. That means that there is a chance that they could split this series. Maybe they can beat Utah in one of these games. Utah is just renowned for having terrible perimeter defense. And they have Spencer Dinwiddie. They have Jalen Brunson. Those are 2 guys that could score big time on this Jazz defense on the perimeter that just hasn't been able to guard anybody. Like everyone who gets their season highs, it seems to be against this Utah Jazz for perimeter players. And so, if Jalen Brunson or Spencer Dinwiddie, if they can at least win one of these first 2 games and then go into Utah and steal one, then this becomes a series. But this is going to come down to what happens in those first 2 games. Can the Utah Jazz take care of business with Luka Doncic out? Even if the Jazz win those first 2 games, it doesn't mean the series is over. Remember, Utah gave up a 3-1 lead against Denver in the first round. Utah had a 2-0 lead against the Clippers and then got swept out. This Jazz team is not a team that has a coach that really adjusts very well. game plans that other teams bring. And so maybe this first 2 games, Jason Kidd finds a way to kind of scheme, figure out what Quinn Snyder's doing, and then in game 3 and 4, he can adjust to what Utah's doing. And that's the scenario I see for the Mavericks. Now, if we're just going to be realistic, the Utah Jazz are likely going to win this series if Luka Doncic is hurt. I mean, if he misses the first 2 games completely, that's advantage Jazz. That's just the way it is. And if he comes back, is he going to be slower? Is he going to not be 100%? It's tough. Maybe he comes back 100% completely healthy, and of course you hope for that. But if not, that is advantage Jazz all the way, and this Jazz team, if they can, needs to really try to sweep this Mavericks team, because the more rest they can get with Mike Conley at his age, Bojan Bogdanovic, the name of the game for this Utah Jazz team is as few games as possible so they can advance further into the playoffs. That's the best chance the Jazz have to advance deep into the playoffs with how old their players are and how much they're trying to avoid injuries. All right, guys, I think that's everything. The Luka Doncic injury kind of put a damper on things with this series, but it's still going to be a lot of fun. First game is on Saturday, 11 o'clock Mountain Time. If you haven't already, this is a little rambler. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join and support the channel, join the live streams. We do the post-game shows. They're a lot of fun, and maybe we'll do some more things here soon. I don't know. But like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will talk to you next time.